Eddie, first of all, how is it for you, seeing Billy Joe after his criticism of you as a promoter? What was that like seeing him? Because you were supposed to see him earlier in the week. But
yeah, no, I've seen him all week. He's, it's difficult when you have two fighters in a fight. On one hand, you have a pound for pound number one who's doing all this media. He's obviously getting a huge amount of attention. Then you got Billy who didn't want to do any media and was having a go at me, and so it gets worse and worse, really. So Billy's happy. He's happy with everything. He's happy. There's no excuses. So now it's just over to them. All I can ever do is do what they asked me to do. Canelo asked me to make the Billy Joe fight. Billy Joe asked me to make the Canelo fight. It's done. Guys, go and make history.
How much of the ring talk you think was the physical? He wants more room to move, and how much of was him just messing with Canelo, trying to get under his skin?
I think his dad made it clear that his dad's very protective over Billy Joe, and rightly so. It's his father, and he felt that they wanted a 24-foot ring. That was never an option.
Right.
And after listen, he stood his ground. He said he would go home, and I believe him, quite frankly. And then I have to give props to Canelo, because I went in there and I said, if you're not bothered, a lot of fighters, even if they weren't bothered, if he was bothered, he wouldn't have done it. But even if he wasn't bothered, a lot of fighters would sort of go, no,
off you go alone.
Yeah, but I think it was almost like let him have it. So there's no excuses, But look, that's all done and dusted. Now we've got a fight, and on we go.
Now, you mentioned that Billy Joe is the toughest guy at 60. The only other title holders playing. What makes Billy Joe a better fighter or a better matchup?
Style, brain, sharpness, movement, southpaw.
Except for southpaw, people would say Plant has those attributes.
I'm not sure he's as quick as skillful and as clever, personally. That's my opinion.
Right.
And the other thing is Billy is a bit of a maverick. He does have the ability to turn it on at the right time. So for me, he's a guy that could rise to the occasion, and he'll have to beat Canelo Alvarez.
He says that he'll trade more than people think in this fight. Do you believe him, or do you think he'll try to survive?
He'll have to. I don't think he can run for 12 rounds. Right. He has to engage, because also you can't afford for the rounds to be close.
Right.
And people talk about fair judges. This is going to be very fair. You've got 70,000 people. It's difficult to get a close decision in an environment like that. So Billy has to win rounds well. So to do that, he's either got to just put on an absolute boxing clinic for 12 rounds, or he has to engage at times. And if he engages in times, that's where it starts getting dangerous. But Canelo cuts off the ring well. Billy's not going to have no choice at times but to engage, and that might be why he's saying that, because he also knows I can't just.
Will he have the power to keep him off? I remember you said you need that to beat Canelo.
Yeah, that's an issue. He has the sharpness, and he's a sharp puncher. He's not a huge puncher. And we don't know also how he could react to Canelo's power, because if you look at his resume, he hasn't yet mixed at that level either. But I think the great thing about Billy is you'll get the best Billy on Saturday. You won't get a guy that goes in there and he'll love it, right? And that makes him dangerous as well.
Thanks, Billy.